The prince, the prophet, the bankers, and the spymasters, the eternal architecture of power. From Machiavelli and Dante to Herzl and Kissinger, from the Medici to the Rothschilds, from Florence to Wall Street, the blueprint of global control. History is not linear. It is a ritual, a carefully repeated formula designed to keep the few in control of the many. At the heart of this ritual stands a circle of minds and institutions that transcend generations. Niccolò Machiavelli, Dante Alighieri, Theodore Herzl, Henry Kissinger, the Medici, the Rothschilds, and the Rockefellers did not merely shape the world, they designed the rulebook. Today, their teachings live on in the hands of intelligence agencies like Mossad, the CIA, and criminal cartels like the Mafia, the real-world enforcers of this ancient script. The result is a pyramid of power built upon myth, manipulation, finance, and fear, a structure that controls our reality while pretending to protect it. Niccolò Machiavelli, the engineer of illusion. Machiavelli's The Prince was never just for rulers. It was a manifesto for how to manufacture legitimacy, wield violence without guilt, and master the public imagination. His vision was surgical. It is better to appear good than to be good. Cruelty must be well used. He was not merely describing how princes behave. He was instructing those behind them how to choreograph events, scandals, wars, and peace. Modern application. Kissinger's entire foreign policy is Machiavelli in motion, balancing powers, staging conflicts, and eliminating threats through diplomacy masked as dialogue. Mossad, CIA, and Mafia alike use deception and duality, pretending to uphold order while creating chaos. 2. Dante Alighieri, the mythmaker of moral hierarchy. Dante's Divine Comedy created a theological political system, punishment and reward, order and chaos, layered into a moral map of the universe. It was also a public indictment. Popes, bankers, politicians were placed in hell not by armies, but by words. It was psychological warfare wrapped in poetry. Modern application. Today's equivalent is media-driven moral judgment. Those who question the system are labeled extremists, deniers, or traitors. Like Dante's Inferno, a new secular religion punishes deviation from the progressive consensus, not with fire, but with censorship, financial deplatforming, and reputational death. 3. The Medici, bankers of power and patrons of illusion. Before central banks, there were the Medici, Florence's unelected kings. They created the first corporate state hybrid, financing popes, monarchs, and wars. They understood that true power is invisible. It lives in credit, marriage alliances, and cultural control. They invented double-entry bookkeeping, a financial black box, controlled the Vatican through papal appointments, sponsored artists to create propaganda disguised as beauty, used espionage and hired assassins to eliminate threats. Legacy. The Medici were the proto-Rothschilds. Their model was resurrected in the 18th to 20th centuries through private banking dynasties that would control the world from the shadows. 4. The Rothschilds and Rockefellers, the industrialization of control. The Rothschilds perfected what the Medici began. By funding both sides of European wars, they proved that money is stronger than politics. Their strategy: own central banks, control debt issuance, and manipulate markets through inside information. The Rockefellers added an American twist: energy dominance, media control, medical monopolies, and philanthropy as social engineering. Together, they created the Fed and Bank of England, designed IMF and World Bank systems of control, funded universities, think tanks, and NGOs to shape ideology, installed puppet regimes via economic dependency. They are not kings, but they own kings. Theodore Herzl, the strategist of mythopolitical Zionism. Herzl was Machiavellian with a messianic twist. He transformed the plight of Jews into a political narrative, not through religious revival, but elite diplomacy. He saw the Rothschilds not as saviors, but as necessary funders. His Zionism was a geopolitical vision, a buffer state for Western interests, an ethnic mythic nation born not of blood, but of financial consent. Legacy. The State of Israel became a Rothschild-backed project. Its creation, survival, and influence were not divine miracles, but operations of economic strategy, military planning, and public myth-making. 6. Henry Kissinger, the modern prince. Kissinger turned Machiavelli into a bureaucracy. He institutionalized deception as policy and betrayal as strategy. His doctrine: stability through managed conflict, oil and food as weapons of control, diplomacy as permanent misdirection. He did not seek peace, he sought controlled imbalance. He didn't end wars, he prolonged them until they were economically useful. He operated above nations, above ideology, purely within the logic of empire. 7. The enforcers: Mossad, CIA, and the Mafia. The architects of power require executioners, operatives who implement the plan in silence. The Mafia, CIA, and Mossad learned from the same rulebook. Black small square, the Mafia, the Medici model on the streets. Like the Medici, the Mafia created a shadow government. Taxation, protection. Justice, omerta. Diplomacy, alliances with political families. They controlled ports, unions, courts, and later, political machines. During World War II, the U.S. used the Mafia to sabotage Nazi operations in New York and Italy, recognizing their parallel sovereignty. Black small square, Mossad, Herzl's sword. Operating globally, Mossad has mastered. False flag operations, e.g., Lavon affair. Assassinations, Black September, Iranian nuclear scientists. Honey traps and blackmail, Epstein/Maxwell networks. Economic espionage and tech infiltration. Their purpose is not just protection, it's influence through fear, penetration, and psychological dominance. Black small square, CIA, Kissinger's execution squad. The CIA became a tool of regime change, Iran 1953, Chile 1973, Libya 2011. Narco funding, Afghanistan, Latin America. Media control, Operation Mockingbird. False flag terror and color revolutions. Like the Medici's assassins in velvet gloves, the CIA doesn't just kill, it sculpts global perception. 8. The pyramid today, from Florence to Davos. All these forces, intellectual, financial, military, and criminal, are now integrated under the digital empire. Central banks issue infinite debt. Media conglomerates dictate belief. Spy agencies and big tech surveil and nudge thought. Philanthropists engineer mass behavior through NGOs. Artificial intelligence becomes the new tool of governance. Yet the software is ancient. What began with Dante's moral maps, Machiavelli's strategies, the Medici's coin, Herzl's myth, and Kissinger's diplomacy now runs through algorithms, vaccines, sanctions, and surveillance drones. Conclusion: the algorithm wears the crown. The prince has evolved. He no longer holds a sword or sits on a throne. Today, he runs a hedge fund, launches a think tank, or manages a spy agency. Machiavelli provided the ethics. Dante the theology. The Medici the financial model. Herzl the national myth. Kissinger the global strategy. And the CIA/Mossad Mafia the enforcement arm. Together, they built the eternal pyramid, a structure of power that lives beyond elections, borders, and revolutions. Give me control of a nation's money, and I care not who makes its laws. Attributed to Mayor Rothschild. That quote was not a metaphor. It was a declaration of ownership.